Match week 13 in USL Championship invades the Palmetto State for a top 6 showdown in the Eastern Conference. Charleston Battery, unbeaten at home in 2026, welcomes Detroit City to Patriots Point. Tonight's match is presented by the Patriots Point Naval and Maritime Museum, located just a short walk from the Battery Stadium and home of the legendary USS Yorktown and Laffey. The museum is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Welcome into Mount Pleasant, along with Ricky Lopez-Espin, Jake Griffith, glad to have you alongside us. And we open our show with a look at our Eastern Conference table entering match week 13. Detroit City, they're unbeaten in 3 consecutive across all competitions. They've worked their way up to second spot. Charleston Battery currently in 6th. And for more on Battery, we head pitch side to Izzy Sullivan.
I'm bringing some exciting news from the sideline tonight. The Charleston Battery midfielder Chris Allen is expected to be on the roster for this match after being sidelined for nearly a year with an intense Achilles injury. The England native was last seen in the black and yellow in August of last season. Since then, he's underwent surgery and has been doing intense rehab to make it back on the pitch. The midfielder was a huge part of the Battery's 2023 and 24 playoff runs and has been greatly missed in the midfield this season. The 27-year-old told me that it has been a grind and a long overdue return, but he is beyond excited to get back on the pitch, especially at Patriots Point, and is so grateful for the opportunity to play again. A huge night for Chris Allen and for Battery fans who get to see him back in the mix once again.
Back inside Patriots Point and Charleston Battery, they come in 3 losses in their last 5, Ricky, but unbeaten at home. They're hoping returning home will change their fortune.
The ability to right their wrongs for Ben Pearman, and he's actually been really pleased with their performances through the run of play, but saying they need to be a little bit more efficient in that final third. Chance creation is not a problem for this team, but when they do play at home, 3-1 this season, an opportunity to pick up a massive 3 points.
They averaged 2.4 goals per match this season at home for Detroit City. 2 wins, points in 3 of their last 5, but they've yet to win away from home.
An opportunity to right their wrongs for Detroit City as well. A difficult place to play here in Patriots Point, and much like Ben Pearman and Charleston Battery, Danny Zico said the same thing. They need to be a little bit more ruthless, but when you're struggling to find the back of the net, who do you look for? You look for your big-time striker in Darren Smith. He's big, he's physical, and he has the ability to stretch the field with his movement in and around that 18-yard box. He is a clinical and a composed finisher. Service into him, especially on the road, going to be crucial for Detroit City.
Darren Smith, 16 goals in his last 39 USL Championship appearances, currently 2nd in the Golden Boot race for Detroit City, who've already seen Charleston Battery once this season. It was Darren Smith, a 76th minute winner. 2nd meeting of the season between Battery and Detroit City when we return to South Carolina.
When I was in high school, my coach liked to say, "You don't rise to low expectations." And that's just always stuck with me. With the help of my lottery-funded life scholarship, I was able to get a degree in secondary education. Now it's my turn to invest in my athletes, the same way my coaches did for me. Who knows? Maybe one day they'll do the same for someone else.
Better coaches means a better South Carolina. And a better South Carolina means a better you.
Return to the field. Score the winning shot. Beat your personal record. Team up with MUSC Health Sports Medicine for all your sports-related injury care and rehabilitation. MUSC Health is the official sports medicine provider for your favorite local teams. From semi-pro athletes to weekend warriors, our sports medicine team provides state-of-the-art injury prevention, treatment, surgery, and rehabilitation for athletes of all ages. Go where the pros go. Schedule an appointment today.
30 years of covering the Low Country, I know what your home means to you. Hi everyone, I'm Dean Stevens, and when it comes to heating and air or plumbing needs, I call Fix It 24/7. Why? This team is old school, do things the right way, they care. Whatever it takes to get the job done. I've seen it firsthand and why they call it legendary service. Nothing but the best for a legendary city. More than 500 5-star reviews, and I'm obviously not alone in how I feel. The next time you need service, go to fixmyhome247.com and click the Book Now button.
Back in Mount Pleasant on Military Appreciation Night inside Patriots Point between Charleston Battery and Detroit City FC. A chance to look at how these sides line up in our starting lineups presented by Fix It 24-7. And for Charleston Battery and manager Ben Pierman, a 4-2-3-1. 3 changes, but Ricky going away from the back 5 tonight.
With the back 4 gives you a little bit more of a structure. Will also allow Douglas Martinez to come around Langston Blackstock. That right side of the field is going to be really vertical and put some pressure on Detroit City. Expect them to be wide, expect them to be very expansive. The first 10 to 15 minutes, getting in a rhythm, really important for Charleston Battery.
As for Detroit City and manager Danny Dicchio, they make just one change from their draw at Loudoun United. Maxi Rodriguez in.
Maxi Rodriguez is going to have the freedom to go and float the game. He can play in between lines. He can combine. He can beat you 1v1. He can find that final ball. If he gets in a rhythm, expect that front 3 to push as high as they possibly can. For Detroit City, they want to make you uncomfortable. They want to get at you, and they want to set the tone.
Our player to watch tonight, presented by tonight's Soccer 5, Miguel Berry. Player to watch for Charleston Battery. They're trying to get him going offensively, Ricky. Arguably one of the most talented strikers in this league, but still goalless right now.
Miguel Berry has everything in his locker. He's big, he's physical, but has really soft feet. He's going to play underneath Colton Swan today, so a little bit of a different look for Ben Pierman and Miguel Berry. Getting him up the tempo, getting him in a rhythm and confident, high up the field. It's going to be really important for the success, not only here today, but over the course of 2026.
Ben Pierman talked a lot about that ability to get Berry and Swan stacked, have Berry playing underneath Colton Swan, who has really, you see him there in the center of your screen, 30 in white and black. It's come in from the Colorado Rapids organization, and he has grabbed a hold of this starting role and really the it guy role for this Charleston Battery team.
Now, Colton Swan, a nightmare to defend. The relentlessness in terms of his work rate, he's courageous. He wants to score goals. He wants to make you uncomfortable. He wants to get high up the field, and that built extremely well with Miguel Berry, who's more of a finesse type of player. So there is a really good balance on the top line for Charleston.
Of course, the FIFA World Cup on everybody's mind. Colton Swan earning a call-up earlier this week to the US U19 national team. It's his second call-up of the year. Got called up back in March to the U20s. Actually scored against the Argentina U20 side and chipped in an assist as well. One of the top young players this continent has to offer. Our center referee is Jeremy Shear. He is there clad in green and black in the center of your screen. He has both teams ready to go. It's Detroit City, 4 wins all time, 7 points in 7 of 9 matches all time against Charleston Battery. There is the whistle from our center referee in charge. The ball's moving here in Patriots Point. That means we are underway in match week 13 between Charleston Battery and Detroit City. Battery 4-4-1 on the year, coming in off the loss against New Mexico United. That one thumped out of play. It will be a Detroit throw alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin. Jake Griffith, glad to have you with us. Second meeting of the season between these teams, one that Ben Pierman, when reflecting earlier in the week on his team's performance, the last time they saw Le Rouge in Detroit, said we were just soft. We didn't have it, what we needed to go on the road in a real cagey environment. It's always tough to play at Keyworth Stadium, and it was Detroit getting the better of Charleston in that one. We got a room on the near touchline, almost running into our cameraman there pitch side, head on a swivel. Tossed back into play, and Charleston Battery, who narrowly lost on the road against New Mexico United. We alluded to it at the top of our broadcast, Ricky. Going with the back 5 last match week against New Mexico. It's been something that Ben Pierman has tinkered with. He's not been afraid to mix things up shape-wise this
year.
Well,
you just look at the personnel for the Charleston Battery within that center back position. Joey Apinono, Graham Smith, Sean Suber can play as that back 3, but also understanding that a lot of times you need structure defensively, so that is why they've gone into this back 4, and that's near side, like I mentioned on the lineup between Blackstock and Douglas Martinez, really important within their positioning.
Good switch out wide over to Nathan Messer, former Portland Hearts of Pine Man at USL League One. In USL Championship play, 3 wins and a draw at home this year. They're unbeaten in 5 across all competitions at home. Another match being a win in the US Open Cup against Badgers FC. That came at the death in the US Open Cup. As for Detroit City, trying to get off the schneid away from home. 3 losses, 2 draws. Gonna play this one in behind. Knocked down, left sitting there in the middle of the park, and Detroit trying to capitalize on it, driving forward, and that shot will roll wide. Tonight's keys to the game presented by Mercedes-Benz Vans Charleston for Charleston Battery. Ricky, they want to match this intensity tonight.
You just mentioned last time when they played at Keyworth, Ben Pierman thought that they were soft. So when you play against Detroit City, you have to match the effort, you have to match the intensity, and then you allow your football to do the talking. And for Detroit City, if you can break that initial line of pressure when playing out of the back, that allows players like Kobe Hernandez-Foster and Williams to get on the half turn to allow Maxi Rodriguez to do what he's best high up the field.
Time now for tonight's MUSC injury report, and 2 significant ones to report for Charleston Battery. Husu Landry, Laurent Kisedu, both away for this team, suffering some knocks, trying to get back to full fitness. They'll look to overcome that tonight against Detroit, who force a turnover deep in the defensive side of things for Charleston Battery. For Battery, you go back to that match against New Mexico United. They held New Mexico United under 1 goal expected goals. And now on the move, here they come up the near side. It's Martinez across the face of goal. It'll fall all the way through, and Battery will have a throw.
These are the types of movements that if you are Miguel Berry, you need to get on your bike and you need to arrive towards that back post, because Colton Swan does a really good job at occupying both center backs. As Douglas Martinez picks up his head, just no one crashing that second stick. A good opportunity for Douglas and Charleston Battery to almost find the opener.
Rather, it was a Detroit City throw. It will now be a Charleston Battery throw, and the crowd starting to arrive here inside Patriots Point. Ben Pierman talked a lot about that with us earlier in the week. The excitement this team has, getting a chance to play in front of these home fans. They walked away from their last home fixture, a bit of a poor taste in their mouth. Here they come again. Played into Messer, former Providence Friar collegiately. His cross is blocked out, and it will be a throw here for Charleston Battery. Outscoring teams by a +7 goal difference here at Patriots Point, averaging just shy of 2.5 goals per match. Away from home, a different story. Just 10 goals scored on the season, as they'll peel this back over to Martinez. Steered over to Luis Zamudio. 3 saves this season, stopping just about 65% of the shots Zamudio faces.
Good run.
This ball in behind, trying to charge into the path of it, and Langston Blackstock, you can't run that one down. It will go out for a Carlos Herrera goal kick.
It's good movement from Blackstock, understanding as Martinez provides a width, you can make that run underneath. For Ben Pierman, this right-hand side, to continue to talk about their verticality can cause some issues for Detroit City. A little bit heavy on the ball from Ikaza, but a good option and good look from the midfielder.
Detroit didn't like their options going ahead. They'll steer it back over to Carlos Herrera, getting start number 10 of USL Championship play. 5 clean sheets, 17 saves for the 27-year-old netminder. Now here they come centrally. Detroit City trying to carve an opening, and it's Rodriguez. Combined was looking for Tommy Silva, former Real Monarchs man out of that RSL organization in MLS. Touched forward on the turn. DeLu left it off. Alex DeLu getting his 3rd start of the season and now 7 appearances. Was inserted into the lineup for Detroit against Loudoun United. And Danny Dicchio, he was very pleased with what DeLu brought to this team. Rodriguez again on the turn, looking to play Yamazaki into space, knocked out, and it will be a throw.
DeLu gives you that verticality, especially from a deeper line position, which is a nightmare to defend. Comfortable on the ball, can come century, so it gives you a lot of fluidity as well for Detroit City with Darren Smith and Ates Youth. A lot of good balance for the visiting side in Detroit here.
Heavy collision over on this near side. Douglas Martinez will be shown a whistle as Ates Juf, who you just highlighted, goes spilling down to the natural grass.
Just so quick. Juf is so good in 1v1 opportunities. You need to get tight to him if you are Martinez. Just overcommits a little bit. It's a foul and an opportunity for Detroit City to really test Zamudio and this Charleston back line.
It's one of those matchups between Charleston and Detroit where you look at the underlying numbers, you start to think maybe set pieces could be the impactful area. It's Battery who have scored the most set piece goals in USL Championship. Detroit City the 6th most coming in to match week 13. The Rouge, they have converted one free kick into a goal in 2026. Kobe Hernandez Foster joining Ryan Williams shadowing over this ball. Williams whips this one out wide. Rodriguez able to make the grab, now gives it up. Played top of the area, pressure building here. Silva dispossessed, and Charleston able to clear those lines. Rodriguez looks to stand up across. There's contact made there by Detroit City. It falls back over to Devin Amu-Mensah, the captain of this Le Rouge side. Second ball served in, over to Juf on the near. Juf heading to the end line, whipped across, and it's batted out of play. It'll be a corner here for Detroit.
Good spell of possession here for Detroit City. As Maxi Rodriguez overhits this ball, notice the decision-making for Juf here. Thinks about hitting it first time, but collects himself a really good first touch, and he's just so quick off the mark. A little bit of a separation touch. Zamudio, well done in terms of his positioning to deny this ball across.
Just a handful of minutes ago, Detroit had an attacking half free kick. Now they get their first corner of the night. They've scored 3 times off corners this season. They go the short route in on this set piece. Served, back post, over hit there on Williams, and it'll go sailing out.
A luxury to have Ryan Williams back into the lineup for Detroit City. He can hit a ball over 50, 60 yards on a dime. The vision and his relationship with Kobe Hernandez Foster, specifically when playing out of the back, going to be crucial for Danny Dicchio and company.
Former Tranmere Rovers Academy midfielder, brings so much to Danny Dicchio's team. It's a Detroit City team that we mentioned Charleston Battery's injury struggles. They themselves have dealt with some injury struggles, most notably Chisholm Abuchalam, Jessiel Cedeno, both out today for Detroit City. You go back to that match on the road against Hartford Athletic. That was the first time those two men missed at the same time. And you could see there was a marked difference in how Detroit played. They lacked that physical muscle up front.
Well, thank you, Abuchalam. Obviously, the physicality, something that is very clear and obvious. A big target, number 9, but Cedeno as well. Watch out.
Rain starting to fall here in Mount Pleasant. And down went Amu-Mensah. He slipped, able to regain his footing. It is turned over, though. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point. Detroit forcing another turnover and now transitioning into the attack. This from distance, stopped by Zamudio. The rebound spills in front, but he collects.
Especially with how aggressive Detroit City is showing within their defensive set. You need to be clean for Charleston Battery. The last thing that you can afford to happen is give the ball over cheaply. Hernandez Foster tries to find this far post, but again, Zamudio does a good job at securing this ball.
Charleston trying to go vertical now. That forces Detroit to just spin that one out of play for a Battery throw in. I thought it was funny, Danny Dicchio, they had the match at Loudoun last week, rainy, cold, windy, poor conditions. They had the match at Hartford Athletic, rainy, cold, poor conditions, and he joked with us. He was like, it feels a little bit like deja vu for us. We're expecting some bad weather in Charleston, South Carolina. Peeling this one back and whipping this cross in is Battery, but it's knotted away.
especially now with the wet surface. Your first touch, really important to set you up for success. And if you are an attacking player, there is a shot on target. You have to have the ability to follow up, because any sort of spillage and rebound can be the difference here.
Messer puts that ball back into play via the throw-in.
Great ball.
Back over to Blackstock. Good first touch. Now Blackstock steps past Silva, wants to square this in front. Herrera makes contact, and it's pushed out for a corner to Battery.
A luxury to have Benonu from his center back position. Love the move from Langston Blackstock, head up the whole way, so that allows Colton Swan to get across that near post. Really clever movement, but in the end, Herrera doing a good job initially, and the second wave to deny the opener for Colton Swan and the Charleston Battery.
First Battery corner of the night. This corner kick brought to you by the Pepper Law Firm. It'll be Messer with the service in on this near flag. Messer in, swinging ball to the back post, headed down and in! And on the other end of it, who else but that man, Colton Swan, opening things for Charleston inside 15 minutes, 1-0.
The ability to whip in a ball from Messer. The quality and the placement right on top of that 6-yard box. But we talk about X and O's and tactics and willingness, but this is all about Colton Swan beating his individual marker to the spot. Beating Yamazaki, getting goal side, and notice, just lets it hit his head and redirect it past Herrera. A lot of traffic in front of the goalkeeper, so he sees it late. What a wonderful goal that is for Swan to get his 4th on the season and to give the Battery a lead.
Ben Pierman, one of the core tenets of his team is set-piece dominance. He said earlier this year that first assistant Ian Cameron has taken such a crucial role in that regard for this Battery team. They demand excellence on set pieces. They're the best team in the league at it, and they strike again. Ball goes sailing out. It'll be a throw in, and we talked at the top of our broadcast the importance of the opening 10-15 minutes, especially for Danny Dicchio's team weathering that early storm, and it's Battery pulling ahead.
That's going to be a frustrating goal if you are Danny Dicchio, because before the game, every single one of these players have a responsibility in set pieces, whether it is zonal across that 6-yard box or man-to-man, not allowing your marker to beat you to the spot. Yamazaki gets beat. Colton Swan, really well done.
On the turn here, trying to carve an opening forward over to Rodriguez, deflected off his boots, and Zamudio quick off his line. Luis Zamudio coming over ahead of 2025, spent a couple seasons in MLS with the DC United organization. Prior to that, some time with Switchbacks on a loan, Loudoun United. But since coming over to Charleston Battery, he has very clearly established himself as the #1 man in net for Ben Pierman.
We just saw the class of Luis Zamudio, the ball at his feet, can spray a ball. Something that is very underrated for the Charleston Battery. Every single player across the back line comfortable with playing out.
Pomponano carries it along. Now here's Messer on the left, cuts it back. Messer in front, settled down, still loose. Blackstock, 2-0. The big guns are firing at home for Charleston. 2 goals in the span of 4 minutes to break it open.
Just a wonderful team goal here for the Charleston Battery. Notice the movement first from Miguel Berry to stay high as Colton Swan's a little bit deeper, but the unselfishness first from the striker, but this pass right here from Colton Swan, it's just phenomenal. As this ball comes across, he brings in Montgomery, and Langston Blackstock has really taken a step in terms of his progression when he plays high up the field. Right place, right time, and a composed finish. Unselfish execution, and the double for the Charleston Battery and Ben Pierman.
The first of the season for Langston Blackstock in the 16th minute, and Charleston Battery all of a sudden was a tight affair in the opening 14 and a half. Suddenly becomes all Battery at home. And of course, it's the dynamic duo of Swan helping set that up. Miguel Berry got a touch in on it as well. Ben Pierman, he went back to when they first brought Langston Blackstock into this organization. Played a different role than what they've asked of him when he was with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds organization. And Pierman said, look, it took some time for him to adjust and adapt to our style, but they feel like over these last few weeks, he's really turned a corner and they're getting the most out of it.
Well, the last two actions for Blackstock's done a really good job at just going where he sees fit, understanding that if he calls it drops deeper, if he plays centrally, he can either get on the ball, but also allows Martinez to be more vertical from his right back position. So really smart movement from Langston Blackstock. The result finds the second goal for the Battery.
Rouge trying to go forward with this one. They haven't had many options ahead. Here's Smith trying to get around that final defender. There's a man down here for Charleston Battery, and it is Douglas Martinez.
Yeah, I see Danny Dicchio really frustrated with his two center backs, telling them to wake up a bit. Far too easy for the Charleston Battery to find the back of the net. Next 5 minutes, need a response if you are Detroit.
Tommy Silva will have the throw in on this near side to resume play. For UCLA Bruin collegiately. Back into Silva. Saw a flash of Danny Dicchio there on the touchlines a moment ago, and one thing he had said coming into this match was the last 3 matches, they've all presented different challenges for his team. He's been very pleased and proud of their adaptability, but mostly their defensive structure. That's starting to go out the window early on against Battery, but it is Detroit asking some questions as we approach minute 20. Zaki shovels it along, now tucked back inside, Dalou, edge of the 18, still Dalou trying to force his way past Ikaza, and ultimately it does go out for a throw. Juve now, splitting 2 defenders, Antes Juve, still with it, goes central, and it's knocked out for a corner.
Just so good 1v1 Juve. Once Douglas Martinez overcommits and gets his hips wrong, that is the signal to take this touch centrally and just come across. The recognition of space, notice the left defender here, hips are facing towards the end line, you cut back centrally and just split the difference. Really well done from Bakov in the end to drop down and deny the service from Juve.
Hernandez Foster will have the second corner of the day. Hernandez Foster drives this near stick, knotted down off the post. The rebound put in. There is a whistle though, and the offside flag coming up. No lifeline for Detroit. What has already been a difficult first 20 minutes. That has to be crushing for Danny Dicchio's bunch.
Good opportunity to mention no VAR here in USL Championship as well, but as this ball comes across the left side of your screen, Devin Omumensa is behind this back line of the Charleston Battery. It's the right call. Really good line first from Nathan Messer and Douglas Martinez. So once that ball does get played negative, they take a step high up the field, and that leaves Devin Omumensa offside. Good call by Jeremy Shear and his crew.
What at least for a moment looked to be a 1-goal deficit for Le Rouge. Not to be had, and we stay 2-0 in favor of Battery as Zamudio swings it back forward. Big point of emphasis for Danny Dicchio's side entering this contest was the ability to progress forward by bypassing the Charleston block, utilizing those wide areas. Right now, they're not able to do that with much consistency and fluidity.
And I give credit to the Charleston Battery defensively. They did a really good job at staying compact. If that front line does go with Colton Swan and Miguel Berry, that midfield line connected. Center backs here again showing their aggressiveness. So if you are Darren Smith, you need to become an option. Maybe a vertical threat needs to be had. Darren Smith, only 7 touches through 23 minutes. Really quiet for your leading goal scorer.
The last time Battery saw Detroit City, they were held to just 11 touches in the penalty area for the full 90 minutes. Already 7 in these first less than 25 here in Mount Pleasant. That one does go out. Change of possession will occur via the throw-in. It'll be Martinez. Indy 11 man, spent 2 seasons with Indy 11. Finding themselves in 5th right now in the Eastern Conference table. 3 wins and a draw in their last 5 fixtures for Douglas Martinez's former club. It'll be consecutive throws for Charleston Battery. Berry able to settle, fed over to Blackstock. They're bunching up on this near touchline. And Silva able to come out of a crowd with possession of that ball. One back and turned forward. On it is Miguel Berry trying to open things up. That is a sturdy challenge there, and it will be our first booking of the evening. Ryan Williams will be shown yellow.
Just no real need for Ryan Williams to come this aggressive across. Notice how high that right foot is. Catches Miguel Berry. There's also three of his teammates around the ball. You do not need to leave your feet in that instance, and if you do, you need to get it right. Gets it wrong, first player in the book of Jeremy Shearer.
It results in a Charleston Battery free kick as Nathan Messer returning to the Battery lineup. The 3 changes. Ben Pierman was very excited about having Messer back in this first 11 on the pitch. He stands over top of this, and Carlos Herrera already tagged with 2 goals by this highly touted Battery attack. Watches on.
Desired location right now is right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark, especially with how high Herrera is. Trying to catch this goalkeeper in no man's land.
Assists on the season, 18 chances created for Messer, who swings it forward. Out wide, headed in front, but wide of goal. And Detroit able to come away unscathed.
Just trying to lift it up to that back post, allowing Miguel Berry just to go up and get the ball. In the end, really well done from Detroit City just to throw off the big striker.
Trying to bypass this press right now of Charleston Battery, and it forces a turnover. It'll be a throw in for Charleston Battery.
But if you are one of the double pivots for Detroit City, Hernandez Foster, Ryan Williams, your body position and how you receive the ball needs to be better. That last action, there's only one way Ryan Williams can go. It's back into this sideline because the way that he approaches the ball. If he can receive it with his hips open, that allows him to receive it from one side, go out the other, and release this pressure. But right now, the double pivot not doing a good job in terms of their spacing to release the weak side.
Long toss back in from Silva, promptly headed back down by Charleston Battery. And now up ahead, here's DeLu, looking to play Juve through. Ates Juve can't hold on to the right side of that restraining line, and the offside flag up.
About half of a yard off, Juve is. But if you are DeLu, you need to play this ball quicker. See the space, put the ball into space, and allow Juve to run onto it. That is when he's at his best, running downhill towards the attacking goal.
DeLu returning to the lineup. Last match for the first time since April 11th against Loudoun United. In that 10 role, but he was able to work off the aforementioned Ryan Williams. Even though Detroit walked away with no goals in that contest, they created enough chances to get the job done. And that really has been one of the biggest conversation points, frankly, for both these teams, but Detroit specifically in the context of this conversation. Danny Dicchio is like the chance creation. He just wants to see more ruthlessness.
Well, chance creation, not an issue for both of these sides, but for Detroit City, it's really clear you need to help Darren Smith in the score column. The only player that has more than 3 goals for Detroit City. Ekbuchulam has 2. He's not into the roster, so you need to have the ability to spread the wealth. Because if Darren Smith starts to cool down a little bit, who's going to shoulder that responsibility? Because there is talent on this roster, but the production just needs to be higher elsewhere.
It has forced Darren Smith to take even more of a role with this Detroit City side. Danny Dicchio saying a few weeks ago, ahead of their Brinks Cup fixture against forward Madison, that they need to reward Darren Smith more by getting him on the end of dangerous services. So far, Charleston Battery, they have held Detroit's talisman in check. Few touches as that one goes back into the midst of Carlos Herrera. Push out of play. Detroit will charge forward. They will have the throw. Enter the Brinks Tires USL Cup Game Day Kit Sweepstakes for your chance to win a prize pack worth up to $2,000. Scan the QR code on your screen now and enter today. Ricky, I already know you have entered the Brinks Tires USL Cup Sweepstakes.
Not a bad gig. To $2,000 worth of gear, you count me in.
Brinks Tires USL Cup. Both these teams currently finding themselves near the top or at the top of their respective groups. They'll be back in action, both sides, on June 6th. Charleston Battery right now, top Group 6 with 6 points, coming off the win in Brinks Cup play against Richmond Kickers 4-0. Real comprehensive performance there for Ben Pierman's side. Detroit City, they were one of the late starters in their group, beating forward Madison last time out. On the move here is Battery. Messer drives this in, nodded away. Kaza trying to get a foot to that one, and now we get a whistle from Jeremy Shear. And we come up on the half-hour mark elapsed here in South Carolina.
Been really good, Langston Blackstock has within his movement. That last action on the left side of the field, supplying the ball into Messer, tells you about the free roll that he has.
The man down at the moment for Detroit City. Its officials tending to him. You see the faces of these Detroit City players. Very exhausted so far. Maxi Rodriguez slow to get back to his feet. This Charleston Battery team, they are making Detroit City cover a lot of ground, do a lot of running early on.
And a lot of the work that we've seen from Detroit City has been off the ball. Darren Smith, Maxi Rodriguez, about 22 touches combined through both of them. Tells you about how much dominance it's been for Charleston Battery, all one-way traffic in front of the home faithful here at Patriots Point.
Charleston Battery team on the backs of the loss at New Mexico United, but losing back-to-back matches is something that does not happen a whole lot under Ben Pierman. They came into today looking to avoid their first back-to-back set of losses in USL Championship play since September 30th through October 7th, 2023. They are a staggering 19-3-7 over the last 3 years under Ben Pierman in matches following a loss.
Just crazy. It tells you about Ben Pierman, the ability to get a reaction out of his side, to have his fingerprints all over the locker room, the pulse of the locker room as well. One of, if not the best coach in all of USL Championship, and his relatability within his players. Success continues to find him every stop of his career.
And he's a guy who's also very familiar with Detroit City, the former Detroit City manager back when Detroit City were an NPSL side predating their USL Championship days. is impressive when you speak of Detroit and their former time pre-USL, just how much this club has grown over the last few years. Play will resume off the injury stoppage with a free kick. They've added a USL W team in the W League who are in action today against Midwest United. They've also added this year a TST team as well. I know you have some TST experience, fun tournament that is.
My TSC career was 1 year, and that is enough. My knees cannot hold up anymore.
Come on, the people yearn for Ricky
stop.
Lopez
No,
Espen,
they do not.
TST star.
If you commentated on it, I'll play then. How about
Sounds
2027, right?
Sounds good. Got to get the gang back together. Convince Jamie Watson to
There
come
you
out of
go.
retirement.
Throw Jamie in there as well.
Into Ikaza, who rolls this one forward. And Blackstock trying to flick that along. Not in a position to receive it was Martinez. Turn to the CBS Sports Network on Wednesday, June 10th for a USL Eastern Conference Championship clash under the lights. Tampa Bay Rowdies defend their home turf against battle-tested Charleston Battery at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on the CBS Sports Network, June 10th. Speaking of the CBS Sports Network, they are taking the full spotlight tonight. A big matchup in the East between Lou City and Tampa Bay Rowdies, who Tampa Bay right now with 24 points, 7 clear of Detroit City in this USL Championship Eastern Conference. There's a fantastic article written by the publication Backheeled and John Morrissey, Mr. USL himself, about how Tampa Bay has retransformed themselves into the best team in USL Championship. It's been impressive, the turnaround.
What Dominic Cachada has been able to do with that roster, phenomenal. Obviously bringing a lot of players that he's comfortable with, familiar with from USL League One, his time at Union Omaha, and they're just so well balanced. Can hurt you in so many different ways, whether it is centrally, combination, individually. A team that is really good defensively, that's going to be a fantastic matchup at Lynn Family Stadium.
During the week with a 12-match undefeated streak, currently active going back to the end of 2025. One of those off-season acquisitions, Pedro Dolabella, coming over from North Carolina FC. People don't know, he's also the mayor of Huntington, West Virginia, as Miguel Berry trying to step past one defender. I had a front row seat to watch Pedro Dolabella play for 4 years. I'm going to brag on him a little bit. Laid back off. Messer will drive this ball in, trying to pick out Blackstock. Still not clear, and now we get a whistle. And a yellow card to boot against Miguel Berry.
Initially, not quite sure. I agree with this call from Jeremy Shear here. You see Miguel Berry very obviously trying to signal that he did not have his studs exposed, and I agree with him. As this ball does pop out, initially, it looks like he does make first contact with this ball. Left side of your screen, as this ball does get into second phase of play, is there contact? I don't think so. I think Miguel Berry gets her clean. Hernandez Foster clearly makes the most of it. Gets away with one here.
Second yellow that's been handed out so far this evening. First against Charleston Battery, sending Miguel Berry into the book. Miguel Berry has had such a long and fascinating career that has progressed over the last few years. Spent last year with LA Galaxy, 17 appearances, just shy of 700 minutes before coming over in the offseason. Time with former San Diego Loyal in USL Championship, Atlanta, Columbus Crew, DC United, 125 career MLS appearances for Miguel Berry. In the melee of all of that, Detroit City do elect to make a change here in this first half. Ben Morris will come on to spell Maxi Rodriguez. First substitution used by Danny Dicchio.
Not a sub that Danny Dicchio wanted to bring in. Ben Morris will play underneath Darren Smith and change the complexion of what Detroit City looks like going forward.
That substitution brought to you by Publix, and there is Ben Morris. Danny Dicchio, safe to say, he was elated that Ben Morris was able to get back to full fitness. He reflected on Morris making his season debut a few weeks ago against Lou City. He said you could just tell when he came on how much it meant to our fans and how much he means to this team. They go Route 1 Battery do, trying to find space over the top. Detroit, they can't clear it yet. Over, Ikaza, turning, funneled back wide to Blackstock. Langston Blackstock off the side netting and out.
Just putting so much pressure on Tommy Silva and this Detroit City side with the movement from Douglas Martinez. Notice a little bit of hesitation from Langston Blackstock. All he's trying to do is let Martinez pull out Kobe Hernandez-Foster, and he sets up Tommy Silva fantastically. Long touch back into the interior, tries to sneak it into this near post and just pulls it wide, but having a fantastic first half, Blackstock is.
Man of the match-esque performance to this juncture for Langston Blackstock. He got the second of Charleston Battery's 2 goals here in this opening half, and now Detroit looking for an answer here. Hernandez-Foster over to Tommy Silva, who will dribble into space. Now here's Juve. For the give back to Hernandez-Foster, native of Los Angeles. Amu Mensah. DeLu can't shake free of Pakamov. Over to Yamazaki. Yamazaki, they have 2 on him, still puts this back in play. Not cleared yet. Laid off top of the area, parried away by Zamudio, and the rebound cleared. There have been a couple of these efforts from Detroit where Zamudio has stopped them, coughed up the rebound, but they have had numbers there quickly clearing it away.
It's a well-placed shot from Tommy Silva on his least preferred right foot, forcing Zamudio to be full stretched. But again, like you mentioned, Jake, if you are on this Juve, if you make that second action, that's a tap-in. Well done on Douglas Martinez just to clear up this mess and deny what could have been the first for Detroit City.
Haruki Yamazaki able to win a whistle. He is the most fouled player in USL Championship. Starting to become somewhat of a, maybe a joking saying, but let Yamazaki cook. It's kind of been outside of Darren Smith. The secret to success this year for Detroit City. Had the goal in the Brinks Cup. And now Le Rouge, a late free kick here in this first half. Dicchio, you'd say Yamazaki has been their most consistent player. Hernandez-Foster into a crowd. First contact by Barry. Now driven further clear here by Charleston Battery. Battery trying to find their first outright win against Detroit since May of 2025. A 3-1 win on the road. From distance, won't make its way through. It's deflected. And it will be a goal kick at the end of all of it.
Danny Dicchio wanted the width to be a point of emphasis for Detroit City. Altez Juve doing a fantastic job coming centrally, just changing the point of attack to DeLu. Hits it well. There is a little bit of traffic in front of Zamudio, but if you can get those 2 players on the same page running at this Battery back line, good way to claw yourself back into this match for Detroit.
It is Detroit City, despite the 2-0 hole they find themselves in. 52-48 advantage in possession for Danny Dicchio's side. They're doing all of this by holding Charleston Battery to just 41 passes completed in the opposition half. It's been a very efficient first 45 minutes for Ben Pierman's side.
Besides the 2 goals that you concede for Danny Dicchio, it's been a solid 42 minutes for Detroit City through the run of play, especially over the course of the last 10 to 15 minutes. Have slowed the game down, put their foot on the ball, allowing Ryan Williams and Kobe Hernandez-Foster to be a little bit more influential. Juve has becoming more involved as well. That's a fantastic little clip ball from Abinonu again.
A good touch from Barry to settle it through traffic. On the move again is Charleston Battery. Blackstock likes to swing this one along the back line. One thing that stands out when you watch Ben Pierman's team, even in some of the up and down performances, that patience is always there, no matter the circumstances. That ability to recycle their runs and wait for lanes to open up, it is crucial to their success.
A team that is clear in their identity. They know exactly how they want to attack because the personnel that they have specifically at the center back position is a luxury. Players that are just so comfortable. Look at this ball again from Graham Smith on a dime to Messer.
Messer running into the path of it. He'll put it back top of the area. Turn, Barry, able to lay it off. Looking in behind, trying to find a man. Barry takes the touch. It was Martinez clattered into. Battery fans looking for a whistle. They won't get one. And Jeremy Kelly will reset. Bananu back inside, they tuck it over to Barry. Shot is deflected out of play, and it will be a Charleston Battery corner.
Good ball that breaks the line here from Jeremy Kelly, whose name we have not said a lot, but I love the angle that Douglas Martinez takes on this ball back across. A little bit of contact there from Juve, but would have been harsh to point to 12 yards out from Jeremy Shear. Again, the right-hand side for Charleston Battery, really putting pressure on Detroit, understanding that Juve doesn't probably want to drop back and defend a lot. So that allows Blackstock and Douglas Martinez to overload Tommy Silva.
This corner kick brought to you by the Pepper Law Firm. They've already scored off one corner so far this evening. Battery have. Kelly services it in. In swinger, we get a whistle. And that will end that for Charleston Battery. First, though, some pushing and shoving now after the whistle. Jeremy Shear having a word with Carlos Herrera. What has been a frustrating first 45 minutes for Detroit City. We talked about the numbers that play in their favor, but still a 2-goal deficit.
The amount of traffic right in front of Herrera does not take kindly to it. A little bit of a push to Ikaza.
Herrera puts a right foot into it, play back underway. And it will be a throw in for Detroit City. Jeremy Shear whistles to bring things to a stoppage, waiting the official ruling from the fourth official, but looking like 5 minutes of stoppage time, and it is confirmed. 5 minutes of additional time. Brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Kobe Hernandez-Foster will have a free kick here for Detroit. Up ahead, here's Juve. Split two again. Too much of a push in front, and now we get another whistle and another card will come out of the pocket of Jeremy Shear. Montez Juve went spilling down inside the penalty area. Shear will give the free kick just to step outside of it, though.
Good recognition again from Juve to come centrally. Blackstock clearly just clips the heels of Juve as he's by him. Right foot knows exactly what he's doing. No need. The ball's gone. Ikaza's there providing coverage. Goes into the book, and more importantly, really interesting location here for Detroit in terms of the traffic coming across the face of Zamudio can be a nightmare here for the goalkeeper.
A sharp angle. Ricky, how would you take this?
This ball needs to be struck head high at that back post. If there is a redirect, you really force Zamudio in terms of his positioning. No one touches it, can creep into that back post. So this ball needs to be struck with a lot of pace and a lot of venom towards that second post.
Montez Juve sizing up his opportunities. He'll back off. Instead, it will be Ryan Williams. Bears looking for a sign of life late in this half. Williams drives it toward goal, pushed over the bar and out. It'll stay here for a corner.
Ryan Williams hits it well, just trying to put it up and over Zamudio and catch that top corner. No nonsense goalkeeping here. Secure to push it up and over his crossbar. Flawless positioning.
You wanted venom, you got it there. Well taken free kick from Ryan Williams. Save number 3 of the opening 45 for Zamudio. Will be corner number 3 upcoming for Detroit City. First though, Jeremy Shear sorting through some pushing and shoving. Juve, Nathan Messer, both jockeying for some positioning there. Still awaiting the official signal from our center referee. Conversations continuing inside that penalty area. Ryan Williams going back to the well on corner 3 for Detroit. Swung out, trying to pick out Silva. Pressure kept on by Yamazaki. Second ball served into the mixer. Still pinballing around, and there is a collision which will end it for Detroit. Now multiple bodies just strewn everywhere for Charleston Battery. Make no mistake, both of these teams have put in a very high work rate in this opening 45 minutes. It has been one of those matches where nothing comes easy for either team. About 50 seconds away from the halftime whistle from Jeremy Shear. Be sure to stick with us during our halftime report. We can catch you up on highlights, stats, around the league as well. First, though, we have to get there, and it's Charleston asking some questions in these final 30 seconds. Takes a deflection back into the possession of Carlos Herrera. Here's Juve. Just to get past Douglas Martinez, was able to do it and win a throw in. You are starting to see, though, that because Antes Juve has had so much pace on that outside, when he is receiving those distributions, they are starting to press him a little bit higher up the pitch.
So understanding now that use him as a decoy, if you can require so much attention, you need to go out the other way, and that's something that Danny Dicchio's side needs to figure out in the second 45 minutes, the tempo, the spacing, and the ability to get in behind this back line of Charleston Battery. For Ben Pierman, get that man going. If he can find the back of the net, that will be a perfect second half for your side.
Charleston Battery, they lead it 2-0 at the halftime break. A dream start at home through 45 minutes for Battery over Detroit City. We'll head to break. Halftime report on the other side.
And now, a Pepper Law Firm corner kick.
The Pepper Law Firm is a proud sponsor of the Charleston Battery, where winners win.
Declare your purpose campus at Charleston Southern University, offering a wide range of undergraduate degree programs, including majors like aeronautics, engineering, business, and education. CSU is committed to providing you with a biblical worldview and a cutting-edge education. The campus experience includes Division I athletics, small class sizes, intramural sports, and more, all at the only Christian university in the low country of South Carolina. Join the Buccaneer family and apply today at charlestonsouthern.edu.
Extra. It changes the energy on the field and off. It changes the expectations.
You're going to be great.
It changes the game. At Regions, we celebrate the extra that makes the SEC the definition of excellence, while our team goes the extra mile so your financial wins keep coming too. Extra changes everything. And extra is our ordinary at Regions, official bank of the SEC.
We're at the intermission in Low Country. Charleston Battery on top of Detroit City, 2-0 through 45 minutes of play. Halftime brought to you by Sport Yard. Well, it is Military Appreciation Night here in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And for more on Military Appreciation Night,
before the World Cup can begin, 48 national teams need a home, and home is a lot more than a practice field.
They wanted a beautiful grass field and in a sort of secure facility with great access to gyms and all the other pieces around.
Dan Rutstein had the honor of handing the keys to Orange County SC's entire facility to the U.S. men's national team. Why does it matter to you to have the U.S. national team at your facility?
Look, if you can't get excited about a World Cup, then we shouldn't be in this business. It's obviously an enormous opportunity. We're happy for them. It's a great facility. We're happy for us. We're happy for our fans. So we can be talked about in the same breath as the home nation in a home World Cup.
Orange County is joined by the Oakland Roots, who will host the Australian national team, and the Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting first-time World Cup team Cape Verde. When clubs spend multiple weeks in one building, the facility must accommodate an entire support system, not just the players. In a large country like the United States, travel can take a toll. Cape Verde's Tampa home sets up short flights to Atlanta, Miami, and Houston for its group matches. Australia will play matches in Vancouver, Seattle, and nearby Santa Clara. The U.S. team's longest journey is Seattle, sandwiched between two group matches in Los Angeles. But as the World Cup takes place, it's business as usual for the USL Championship. For Orange County, a worthwhile temporary adjustment.
We're still training next door. The short-term pain of being not allowed to use our stadium for the medium and long-term gain of working with the US national team, we could never say no to an opportunity like that.
Week 13 of championship play is upon us. Alex Cernali, center back from San Antonio FC, joins us to talk their incredible start and why they deserve to be the #1 team in the Western Conference. What's gone wrong in Louisville? What's going right for the Tampa Bay Rowdies? 10 games unbeaten to start the year. And what is the best game on the docket this weekend? Stick around. This is USL All Access.
Sometimes the waves are calling your name. Other times, you think the waves are calling your name, but actually, it's the kids.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points. Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Halftime rolls on inside the Palmetto State. Charleston Battery on top of Detroit City at the half, which is presented by Sport Yard. A chance to look at our out-of-town scores here in match week 13. The action flying all around USL Championship. Out-of-town scores brought to you by Breeze. Just getting underway. Lou City, Tampa Bay Rowdies. That a huge match. Lou City trying to snap a 3-match winless streak
against the Tampa Bay Rowdy side and Dom Casciato that can do no wrong, but that game is going to be at Lynn Family Stadium, so that is an interesting little wrinkle and an opportunity for Louisville City to get back on track. Pittsburgh Riverhounds and Miami FC, that is an interesting one. Miami FC did a really good job this season under Gaston Modoni, changed the complexion of that side.
Jurgen Locadia, one of the top players in USL Championship to start 2026. As for our Week 13 schedule, well, tonight, Switchbacks and Oakland Roots out in the West. They'll get going. Lexington welcomes El Paso in an interesting matchup.
For McKemmett, you need to get results, and that needs to happen quickly against a Rubio Rubin side in El Paso Locomotive. The Las Vegas Lights and Devin Renting will welcome Luke Spencer and the USL Championship finalists in FC Tulsa.
Sporting Jacksonville against Brooklyn FC. Sporting Jacks trying to get their season online. That will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. You can catch it on ESPN+. We'll head back to break. Battery leading over Detroit City 2-0.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The first half is in the books in the USL Championship. We hope you're enjoying the match so far. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with the headlines for the week. FC Tulsa goalkeeper Alex Tembakis collected his 60th career shutout in a big 2-0 win over Hartford Athletic. That's 3 straight wins and 4 unbeaten for the Scissortails as they climb to 4th in the Western Conference standings. Monterey Bay earned its first league victory of the season with a pair of second-half goals and a 2-0 win over Birmingham Legion. The club sits 8 points below the playoff line heading into the weekend. And Orange County opened its temporary home stadium with a 3-2 win over the Oakland Roots. It was an exciting night for the club as it packed a record 7,651 fans into Santa Ana Stadium, Orange County's home field, while the U.S. national team trains at Championship Soccer Stadium for the World Cup. Speaking of the World Cup, congratulations to 2 more USL players, Eloy Roam and Jurgen Locadia, both from Miami FC, getting called up by Curacao. Locadia just completed a hat trick in a win over Louisville City. League One and the USL Championship have loaded the month of June with national spotlight broadcasts. CBS Sports Network will feature the Tampa Bay Rowdies and Charleston Battery and Las Vegas Lights against Orange County. ESPN2 will feature Forward Madison against Fort Wayne. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back to your match.
Let's catch you up on the action that was in the opening half with our halftime highlights presented by Truly. And Ricky, early on, it was Charleston Battery cashing in.
Fantastic ball in for Messer as this ball comes across. Colton Swan just wanted a little bit more, fending off Yamazaki. And notice the redirection. There is traffic in front of Herrera. He sees it late. The ball hits the back of the net. And 2 minutes later, just notice the unselfishness. Colton Swan, bottom of your screen, so that allows Miguel Berry to be a little bit higher. But the recognition to push this ball back, and that extra pass from Colton Swan is the difference maker because that pulls in a center back, and that allows Blacksock to be on top of that 6-yard box, unmarked. Fantastic goal for Charleston Battery to double their lead in a matter of moments.
When it rains, it pours. That made it 2-0, and then in the 39th minute, Detroit would start knocking.
It starts to get in a little bit of a rhythm, Detroit City. Danny Dico needs to be pleased with the response from his side. It was the ability to squeeze this game. Tommy Silva, the inverted left back, pushing this ball to that far post, but Juve needs to become a little bit more proactive versus reactive, because if he's there to pounce on this ball, this second half completely different. Douglas Martinez doing a good job at clearing the line.
As we take a look at our halftime stats presented by Truly, 2 goals on 4 shots on target, 0 goals on 4 shots on target for Detroit.
When you're talking about teams that are 2-6 in the live table of the Eastern Conference, it's going to be minute details, and it's been the box defending or lack thereof for the Detroit City, and that has given Charleston Battery the ability to be ruthless, to find the back of the net twice. First 10 minutes since coming out of the break for Danny Dico and company. If you can get a goal, you set up yourself for success and make this game a little bit more interesting.
At box defending, you refer to almost 20 touches in the penalty area in those opening 45 minutes for Charleston Battery. Detroit City trying to shore things up in that regard. Both teams out of the halftime dressing room, set to go. As for Charleston Battery, we talked about the importance of the opening 10-15 minutes for Detroit City. How important is opening 10-15 minutes for Battery to potentially salt this one away?
Yeah, if you get a goal here, now you give yourself a little bit more breathing room. And if you are Ben Pierman, the relationship that needs to continue to grow is the movement between Colton Swan and Miguel Berry. Understanding that if you can get those 2 players on the same page, now you have 2 real weapons to put pressure on Detroit City.
Jeremy Shear has everyone ready to go. The sun is shining and setting here in the Palmetto State. There's the whistle, and we're back underway for the second 45 minutes between Charleston Battery and Detroit City. And Detroit will ping that ball out of play, allowing themselves to get this press set here inside Patriots Point. It's a tactic we're starting to see so much of. Soccer is such a copycat sport, whether it's in the Premier League or in USL Championship.
Just follow the trend, Jake. Just follow the trends.
Consecutive throws now here for Charleston Battery. Detroit do make one change at that halftime break. On comes Aiden Stanley. And Tommy Silva will exit for Danny Dichio's side.
Tommy Silva had a really difficult time dealing with Blacksock and Douglas Martinez. Aiden Stanley's going to give you a little bit more going forward and work rate from his left back position.
Pushed up ahead, out comes Luis Zamudio. Drive that one clear, and Nathan Messer will do the honors. Now Yamazaki slow to get back to his feet. Good layoff to link up with Yamazaki. The result, a little bit more of the same from what we saw in the opening 45 minutes, and it's this Charleston Battery press continuing to push Detroit back. One thing Danny Dichio was adamant about, the ability to bypass that press, didn't have a lot of success doing it, and that continues.
You need to look a line higher when playing out of the back. You need to have a little bit more personality if you are Montgomery and Amumensa to pop this ball into the feet of now Ben Morris underneath Darren Smith. Understanding that Charleston Battery want to squeeze the game to one side of the field, so changing the point of attack will give you an option to release this pressure as well.
Pick back up rather at the midfield stripe, and Charleston Battery wheeling around. Moved forward now to Messer on this left-hand side. The Battery are back in action here at Patriots Point on June 6th as they take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Get your tickets now. That'll be a huge clash between Battery and the defending USL Championship winners from a season ago. It's also back in the Prinks Tires USL Cup, resuming Group 6 play.
The battle of black and yellow, too.
Winner gets to claim rights to the color scheme.
Yeah, there you go. Good touch.
Set up here to Kelly. Numbers here if they move. Now Detroit City trying to spring themselves free. This will be a whistle, and it will be more in addition. Emilio Ikaza shown yellow, sending Ryan Williams down.
The ability to run with their ball at your feet and release some of this pressure. And well done from Ryan Williams. Ikaza knows he's beat. Denied a transitional moment coming through the back and goes into the book early in this second half.
It hasn't been an abundantly physical match. These are obviously two teams who are very hard-nosed defensively. But when that physicality has been there, it has been
It's been
physical.
known. Yeah, it's been known, especially centrally. So you have Ikaza, Miguel Berry, and Blacksock in the book for Charleston Battery, Ryan Williams in the book for Detroit City.
Amumensa swinging it forward. Detroit City showing 3 along the back as they build out here in possession. They have not been able to get Haruki Yamazaki on the ball as often as Danny Dichio would like. Doing so now here. Hernandez Foster, a pocket of space opening up. Cross swung in, deflected away by Battery. Another collision. Now Barry goes toppling down. That body's just hitting the deck on this natural grass all over.
Miguel Berry clearly in pain as he does come across Yamazaki. Is there a little bit of a kick out? Seems like the left foot of Yamazaki, as he is falling down, maybe does extend away from his body and catches Miguel Berry. That's a conversation that Berry's having with Jeremy Shear. Not really hard to tell if it was intentional.
There's an awkward collision there between Berry and Haruki Yamazaki, and it sets Detroit City up with a free kick. Despite the scoreline, they did well for themselves to stack up set pieces, had 3 attacking half free kicks in the opening 45. Whipped ahead into a crowd. First contact made by Battery. Mensa able to keep the pressure on. Here's Yamazaki. Trying to chip this one forward, Detroit City were. Instead, that ball wayward and out of play. But you look at the defensive structure in front of the ball for Charleston Battery when Detroit were trying to reset that. There's just nowhere to go right now in this mid and low block.
Just really organized for Ben Pearman and this Charleston Battery side. Understanding that when you do play against Detroit City, you have to, number one, match the intensity, but you also need to be organized. Because Detroit City, specifically under Danny Deke over the course of the last couple of years, they've given you a little bit more of a different look and unpredictability. Before it was a really direct, it was more of a defensive-minded team. Now he's instilled some confidence playing centrally rotations. We've seen Yamazaki play centrally, and Stanley's pushing a little bit higher. The onus has been on Charleston Battery. How good can they be compact within their defensive structure? And they've done a phenomenal job in that.
This Detroit City side, one of the things that, even with some of those different looks that Danny Dicchio provides from that tactical standpoint, they are at their best this year when they get those vertical threats running downhill. They just have not been able to do that so far today. Here they come, though, linking play over on that left-hand side. Williams goes laterally over to Yamazaki. Stepping up, it's Hernandez Foster. Still Hernandez Foster, wide again. Cross, back toward goal, headed away by Messer. Starting to build pressure-wise here for Detroit. Battery just unsuccessful in clearing their lines. Back low again, top of the area, trying to find Kobe Hernandez Foster once more. Talk about patience with Charleston Battery. This is immense patience being shown by Detroit City. As we come up on 10 minutes elapsed here in the second half. Amu Mensah will step up. Gave it up. Now he'll receive it back, and Detroit's starting to lose a little bit of ground here. Yamazaki stepping inside on Kelly, shaking free of one would-be challenge. Advantage played here for Detroit City. Funneled back ahead, trying to find Aiden Stanley. Now Yamazaki will pick the pieces up here for Le Rouge. Again, forward they go. Pleading for a whistle, Detroit City, or they won't get it. Amu Mensah across. The layoff in behind. DeLu trying to turn away from pressure. Instead it's poked out. It'll be a throw.
When you're playing against a team that's sitting extremely deep like we've seen from the Charleston Battery, your spacing is crucial. Trying to make the field as wide as you possibly can, which will spread out the defensive structure of the Charleston Battery to open up gaps essentially, but also the tempo needs to be a lot quicker. Players are taking far too long to make a decision.
Whipped in behind. Not that one down was Detroit City, and instead it's pinged out of play. It'll be a throw again for Le Rouge. Yamazaki trying to take on Messer himself, and instead it'll go out for a goal kick. The Battery's brand new 2026 home and away kits are on sale now at the Battery Team Store, courtesy of Hummel, the club's official jersey provider. Check out the full line of new Battery gear, including customizable 2026 kits by visiting shop.charlestonbattery.com or by visiting the team store at Patriots Point on match days. They do have some spiffy new looks this season, especially the red, white, and black look, the throwback classic kits they brought out this year.
Always knew you were a fashionista.
Listen, I think it's the fake glasses that give it away, clearly, for those that can't see us here in the booth. They are readers, you know, so they help a little bit.
But style points, most important.
Right, exactly, right? We're bringing back the 2010s NBA fashion over here. Kevin Durant, you have 24 hours to respond. Charleston Battery looking to respond to the Detroit spell of possession with one of their own. Something that Danny Dicchio highlighted in talking about keys to the match for Detroit. They understood that there are going to be long stretches where they do not have the ball. Can they frustrate Battery when they are in possession? Goes sailing long, and it'll be a change of possession via the throw-in.
How many times have we seen Apononu from distance just change a point of attack? So good on the ball, him and Graham Smith. When we talk about the luxury for Ben Pierman to allow his outside backs to push high just because a comfortability factor within the two center backs to hit that ball is so impressive.
Pogomov looking to guide this along via the header. Out of a crowd comes Charleston Battery. Barry will touch it forward and wide. Pogomov. Back over to Jeremy Kelly. Elects to reset things now. There's Blackstock, one of his first touches here of this second half. Was he ever the dynamic player in half number one? Barry fights off a challenge and turns. Still Barry stepping inside. It's Miguel Barry. Miguel Barry's effort is blocked. Tightrope that end line, though, and keep it in play. And now Miguel Barry a bit worse for wear as he goes down.
Really good initial work from Miguel Barry. Show off his strength, comfortability on the ball in tight areas of the field, but takes one touch too many to make a decision. Never fault the work rate from Barry, working extremely hard on and off the ball.
Over to DeLue now. Detroit City on the move. DeLue guiding along. Juve on the left. Atis Juve's shot is blocked. Out it goes, and it will be a corner for Detroit City.
When I talk about tempo, that is a perfect opportunity. That ball needs to be quicker to Juve. If you play him early, that allows him to go 1v1 towards his defender, make a decision. But as you take that second, that third touch, now that allows Charleston to drop a little bit deeper and just provide of a shield in front of Zamudio there.
Fourth corner of the night, first of the second half for the visitors from Michigan. Hernandez Foster, out-swinging ball, charging into it as the Battery defense, and we'll head that one out of play. When we talk about getting crucial guys touches, we've talked a lot about the crucial guys for Charleston Battery who knock that cross away. One player we haven't talked a lot about for Detroit, Darren Smith. They have not been able to get their #1 scoring threat. Touches on the ball in this contest as Zamudio will collect.
12 touches through the hour mark for Darren Smith. Mentioned in the first half, clearly not good enough. And the way that you can impact the game as a #9 when you're not seeing the ball is to work off of it. Continue to throw your body around, continue to occupy the two center backs, and make their life difficult.
Danny Dicchio said he's a guy, he wants to score goals. Our fullbacks have to do a better job of getting him those. On the turn, lifted in. Trying to find Messer on the late arriving run. The clearance falls back. It's Pogomov! Parried away and out of play.
Love the aggressiveness here from Balkamov. The first touch, second touch out of his body. No one closes down the space. Why not call your own number? Hits it well. And that is a wonderful save from Herrera. Full extension to push it wide of that far post.
It'll be a corner here for Charleston Battery, which is brought to you by the Pepper Law Firm. Fourth of the night for Charleston Battery, their first of the second half. Whipped in toward Herrera, who makes the grab in the land of chaos in front of him. Even though 2 goals have gone past Carlos Herrera, he has been one of the biggest things preventing this scoreline from being an even wider deficit.
He's done a really good job. That action right there, perfect example of the ability to command your 6-yard box with the amount of traffic that Charleston Battery throw at you.
Good ball forward, trying to find Juve, running to the end of it. Zamudio bumping into Ates Juve, who goes down. Bring some jeers out of what has been a real lively crowd here inside Patriots Point. And in fairness, they've had a lot to cheer about so far in this contest. Pierman pulling all the right strings right now. On this Charleston Battery side, they are answering the call. Played into Messer.
Good step.
Yamazaki able to step in front of that and come up with the interception. One of the reasons, that ability to step in front of passes, why he made it to the Brinks Tires Cup round of 2 team of the round, as we get a whistle.
Really clever here from Yamazaki, just to come across Blackstock, invite the contact.
Detroit City, they will make 2 more changes. Abdoulaye Diop will come on, and joining him is Raphael Mintsigan. Double change for Danny Dicchio, who has now used 4 substitutions in this contest. As for Charleston Battery, Ben Pierman electing to make his first 2 changes of the night. Malik Foster will come on, and Sean Suber, the All-League first-teamer for Pittsburgh Riverhounds last year, also on. We get a whistle as one of the new men to step on this pitch goes down. Raphael Mintzingen stepping right on and earning a whistle. Over in April to Detroit City after spending last year with North Carolina FC, able to set Le Rouge up with another free kick. Hernandez Foster puts a foot into this, to the back post, forces Zamudio into action, and he punches it out for a corner.
Wonderful location here from Hernandez Foster. Understanding the amount of traffic in front of Zamudio, so he cannot make a plan. He just simply needs to react. Really well done in terms of the goalkeeper. Last-ditch defending effort just to push it wide.
5th corner of the night for Detroit City. Out-swinging ball, coated well defensively there by Charleston Battery. Trying to break out, but Yamazaki had other ideas, and it steered back over to Herrera. Long pass ahead out wide. On that end line, putting it in front, tap toward goal. And there is the long-awaited attempt at a dangerous effort from Darren Smith. They'll need more of that as this game carries on.
As you bring in Rafa Minzigan as well, you're going to get verticality and directness from the wide parts of the field, the ability to run in behind and stretch this back line, which will allow Darren Smith to try to manipulate the two center backs in Apononu and Graham Smith. Service system, like we continue to mention, just so important for Detroit City and their success going forward.
Advantage played here for Battery as Suber guides it ahead. John Suber, obviously a guy with a lot of pedigree. He comes over 31 appearances, 3 goal contributions for Riverhounds, won the title last year, made the All-League first team. They had started him out at the beginning of the year playing in that pivot role alongside Kirill Pakhomov. Back toward the start of the season, Ben Pierman, he just could not praise Suber enough for his leadership he's brought to this team. Chip that one in behind, looking for Herrera to come out, and finally does.
And he's another player that gives you that flexibility to shift into a 3-back system, Suber. When he was with the Riverhounds, played at the back of that back 3, now playing a little bit higher in the midfield, with a balance centrally with Pakhomov, as Ikazu will play as a number 10 underneath Colton Swan. Continue to talk about the different looks that Detroit City gives you, the same as Charleston Battery. They can give you so many different personnel in terms of their relationships, looks, tactically. It's a really deep team for Ben Pierman.
Amumensa ahead, looking for Smith, who lost his footing. Now Battery trying to turn this in to a counterattack. Ikaza shakes past one. Still Ikaza now. Funneled back wide into the path of Suber. Ikaza's ball took a deflection. Clearance falls back to Sean Suber, who recycles it. Ikaza looking for that entry pass in behind. Defender got the lines wrong. Herrera able to parry it away. It falls to Messer in front. Still free inside that penalty area. Malik Foster going in line and ultimately running out of room.
A mess made out of this from Montgomery. Comes across, just misjudges it. But notice the angle that Herrera's in. He's caught no man's land. If Malik Foster picks up his head a little bit quicker, he understands. He just simply needs to pass it towards that far post. Tries to overcomplicate it back when it comes back across. And a long touch over the end line. Very easily been the third for the Charleston Battery to put this game to bed.
Malik Foster, a player that Ben Pierman in our chat with him highlighted. He's been so good for us coming off the bench this year. 2 goal contributions and 9 prior appearances. This is 10th of the season. It's always nice when you have that sort of ace up your sleeve that you can bring off the bench, a guy like Malik Foster. Yamazaki playing centrally now, trying to turn away, instead turned into the face of pressure. Mensa back over to Montgomery. Sliding in from behind, it's Douglas Martinez going in. Martinez will be handed a yellow.
As this ball does go wide for Juve. Tough challenge from Douglas Martinez. Overcommits. No need, again, to leave your feet. If you could just stand up, Juve, do a better job, leave your feet, you allow the defenders to spin you, and you get yourself into the book.
Safe to say, I think everyone's going to need an ice bath after this contest. We've seen some heavy challenges. As Danny Dicchio looks on from the Detroit City technical area. They return home after this contest. They resume Brinks Tires USL Cup play against Lexington, who are in action tonight against El Paso Locomotive. Lexington women, they're also in action. The Gainbridge Super League final officially underway. Lexington hosting Carolina Ascent, last year's Player Shield winner. Lexington winning the Player Shield this year in dramatic fashion, leapfrogging Sporting Jacksonville on the final day of the regular season.
That score right now, 0-0 in the 23rd minute.
I know our good friend Maria Ringo having a lot of fun there in Lexington producing that one. As for this contest, it'll be Detroit City. They'll have another free kick in the attacking half. Haven't made anything out of the previous. Hernandez Foster drills this toward goal. Still free inside that 18. Short clearance away. Now helped along into the path of Yamazaki. He's got a dangerous right foot. That one goes wide, though.
Has the license to push higher from his right back position. Yamazaki wants this ball. Again, no pressure and always bending away. Never really going to test Luis Zamudio from that distance.
Danny Dicchio was adamant that Haruki Yamazaki has been Detroit City's most consistent player this season, not just in terms of his attacking ability, but the way he gets stuck in on tackles. And I feel like over the last few weeks, he's starting to develop as that guy that can make that pass, that sets the pass up, that sets the goal.
Well, if you are going to play a right back position for Danny Dicchio, number one, the work rate can never be in question. And he's relentless within his mobility to push up and down the flank. And then his decision making when he does get into that final third is really taking that next step in terms of his progression. It's been a fantastic signing for Detroit City.
Zaki will step in front of another pass and take away there. Almost returning the favor is Charleston Battery. Instead of Karam's back to Amu Mensah. Zaki goes forward with it. He's trying to pick out Ben Morris there. And instead, back the other way comes Jeremy Kelly. Lovely delivery from Ikaza back over to Kelly, and they'll switch it wide. Swung in across the face of goal. Yamazaki there to nod it away from danger. Abdoulaye Diop running onto it. Trying to spring Detroit City free. That one goes caromming out, and it will be a Detroit City throw in. Battery matches are the perfect place to make lifelong memories with your friends and family. Your group of 10 or more can enjoy discounted tickets, exclusive on-field experiences, and private hospitality areas to catch the match. Visit charlestonbattery.com to learn more and plan a memorable night at Patriots Point. In the next couple weeks, a couple FIFA World Cup watch parties here for the fans at Patriots Point. This cross delivered in front. First to it was Charleston Battery. Can't clear it yet, though.
Get a really good ball again from Rafa Minskin. That's when you are Darren Smith, you need to slash across Graham Smith and Joey Appanonu to get on the goal side. There's not enough quality right now for Detroit City in around that 18-yard box.
Charging forward, it's Malik Foster. Foster putting Montgomery in a bad spot. And that'll be a yellow card handed out to 4 in maroon and gold.
Just the movement of Malik Foster, the explosiveness causes so many teams issues. The recognition, if I push this wide, there's only going to be one person that can win this foot race. Montgomery knows and impedes his run and takes a professional foul and a professional booking.
Eight goal contributions a season ago for Malik Foster in an Indy 11 shirt. Meanwhile, Colton Swan is down being assessed by the trainers. Swan, one of 2 goal scorers tonight for Charleston Battery, coming in the span of about 2 minutes in that first half. Ben Pierman, he was very sort of reflective when talking about Colton Swan's progression to get to where he's at in a Charleston Battery shirt. He said, we brought him in. We didn't expect him to be the guy, but he has quickly taken these opportunities and asserted himself as the guy.
Well, that's all you needed for a player, right? It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to make the position yours, and Colton Swan has done that and then some. And it starts with his work rate. When you play in that striker position for Ben Pierman, just so much is required of you within the press, within being unselfish, and he's done such a good job at being that first line of pressure, setting the tone. And then a lot of times they have the ability to win the ball back higher up the field, which allows him to be in better positions in around that 18-yard box.
Colton Swan, he will come off, spelled by Wilmer Cabrera, and you talk about that defensive ability. That was something Ben Pierman was adamant about as he gets some praise there from his coach on the touchlines. That substitution brought to you by Publix. He said Colton Swan defends his socks off. So Cabrera in, the former El Paso man. Meanwhile, Detroit City, they will make another change. Reese Williams will come on. Ates Juf, his evening is done. And Detroit City have now made 5 changes on the evening. Ikaza puts it back into play. That pro lift free kick for Charleston Battery. By Kelly, tight along the touchline, able to nudge it forward over to Ikaza. To Suber now. Get that interchange going around the area. Instead, laterally he goes. Played off and behind, running onto it is Foster. Trying to hand it back over to Douglas Martinez and slid out of play. Big stretch of matches coming up for this Charleston Battery side. They'll be home against Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the Prinks Cup. Then they go on the road at Tampa Bay Rowdies before returning home to get FC Tulsa from the Western Conference, as that skips out of play. And it'll be another throw. Toss ahead for Detroit, trying to buy themselves a little bit of breathing room on this end. Knocked back down, and Herrera will finally make the grab to quell the danger. Talked earlier, obviously, about that Pittsburgh Riverhounds match coming up for Charleston Battery, but big one against Tampa Bay Rowdies, scoreless right now in the 40th minute, 0-0 between Rowdies and Lou City.
These are moments in the game that Detroit City really miss a player like Cedeno, especially when a team like the Charleston Battery is sitting really, really deep. There's no real pocket presence, so that's why you start to see Detroit City do it time after time, just trying to play direct into behind of Darren Smith. Reese Williams comes in, Joe, players like that. But if you can have a pocket presence, you bait out one of the 2 center backs, and that opens up space for a player like Darren Smith. But right now, it's a little bit too predictable when trying to play through the line for Detroit City.
We got a late whistle from Jeremy Shear. Amu Mensah went down, drawing said whistle. It'll be a free kick for Detroit City. But you're right, you go back to Detroit, missing Jessiel Cedeno, and you can tell there still is another level of this team, another gear that they just haven't unlocked because they haven't had him these last few weeks.
Well, if you are an opposing center back, right, and you have to understand that you're dealing with a player like Darren Smith, but also if you have a player in front of you that's operating in that halftime, now that causes a little bit of confusion. Am I going to step? Am I going to drop? And when Cedeno picks up his head and Darren Smith makes his move, that relationship is lethal.
Yamazaki will pick the pieces up here for Le Rouge and go back wide with it. Cross flashed in toward goal. Promptly headed away by Charleston Battery.
Two center backs have done a really good job within their box defending for Charleston. Smith and Epinonu, phenomenal.
They've held Detroit City to just 14 touches in that penalty area. Only 6 so far in this second 45 minutes. Hernandez Foster trying to find a man running in behind. Rafa Minsingen, he was trying to pick out. Instead, whipped out a play. You throw in for Detroit City. Despite the scoreline, Detroit City, and of course possession numbers anymore in modern soccer are almost sort of antiquated and passé to continually reference. But despite this scoreline, they have enjoyed 55% of the ball. It's been one-way traffic. They just have not been able to get in those dangerous areas. As Abdoulaye Diop steps past one. Diop plays this central. And it's headed out.
One of the hardest things to do in this sport is to break down a team that is sitting really deep. And that is exactly what the Battery have done for the majority of this second half. Smith, Douglas Martinez, Messer, Epinonu, phenomenal within their rotation. So yes, you can be pleased with the performance. If you are Danny Dike, you're seeing a lot of the ball, but the next step is how can you break through a team that is sitting really, really deep right in front of their 18-yard box.
Hernandez Foster will have this free kick, rather this corner for Detroit City. Third corner of the second half. He's been the trigger man on all their set pieces. Driven, back stick, just over the outstretched hand of Zamudio. The last time these teams met in March, there were late theatrics. A 76th minute goal from Darren Smith. In this one, it was early fireworks, 14th and 16th minutes. And Charleston Battery since then, to your point, they have been content to sit in, absorb pressure, and just deny Detroit City time and again when they do get in toward that final third. It's been a real workman-like performance for Ben Pierman's bunch. Should this result hold, you have to imagine this Charleston Battery coaching staff would walk away feeling quite good about themselves going forward the rest of the season. We are coming up on about that 1/3 mark of the USL Championship campaign elapsed. Kind of hard to believe that 33% of the USL Championship season after tonight comes to a close will have gone by the wayside.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Absolutely. What do you think has stood out to you the most through this first third of the USL Championship?
I think it's just been so unpredictable in 2026, the parity on display. That is a good challenge from Almamensa. Wilmer Cabrera actually helps him with how he takes his touch into the challenge. But those are situations that you need to overhit this ball from Ikaza. But notice the first touch trying to come back across right into the path of Devin Almamensa.
A textbook tackle from Le Rouge's captain. The throw in, handcuffing the defender. And Herrera able to bail him out and toss it forward to jumpstart this attack for Detroit City. Minsingen trying to get out wide, cannot do that. It'll be another throw. Of all the contests underway right now in USL Championship, this is the only one that has seen a goal, period. A lot of scoreless 0-0s so far in the opening halves among the next batch of championship matches that just got underway at the top of the 7 p.m. hour. Another whistle for a stoppage from Jeremy Shear for a foul. Well, it has been a frustrating day for Detroit City. There are some bright spots. You do get to go home for for 3 of your next 4 fixtures, trying to work themselves back to full health. They also were without Connor Roots today, not due to injury. Connor Roots and his wife welcoming a new child as well. Congratulations. Yeah, huge accomplishment there. Turning with it is Charleston Battery. They've asked all the questions offensively so far tonight. They've had all the answers. Messer back forward. Here's Foster at the end line. Picked off by Herrera. He's really shown the full body of work so far tonight, claiming crosses, blocking, distribution, and shot stopping.
And without him, it could have been a lot worse than only 2-0. Well, as this ball comes across, you want Messer to be a little bit more selfish and just step through it, because that is a difficult ball for Malik Foster to deal with.
Williams goes forward to Yamazaki, whose pass is deflected off the boots of Nathan Messer. You hear Danny Dicchio down in those touch lines, telling Haruki Yamazaki, tuck more inside. Trying to scrape something together, Detroit City is here in these last few minutes of this contest. Ahead to Malik Foster now. Kelly slows up play. Late arriving run, finding Douglas Martinez inside. It's Cabrera shuffling around. Still Wilmer Cabrera. Suber gives it back up, and now here comes Charleston Battery once more. Kelly turning and hands it off to Pakomov. Former Marshall man, also JUCO All-American collegiately. Apananu gives it up ahead. Here's Nathan Messer. Messer, part of that Rhode Island FC team that marched all the way to the championship final a couple years back. This is a Charleston Battery team that, yes, you look at their losses. They loan out Juan David Torres. They lose Cal Jennings, MD Myers, Aaron Malloy, who's tearing it up right now elsewhere. More on that in a moment. Here is Malik Foster. Has options to his left. Ikaza goes back looking for Foster going down. And no whistle sounding. Now we do get a whistle, this time for a foul against Charleston Battery.
This needs to be the third for Charleston Battery. If you are Malik Foster, you need to run at Montgomery. If it is a 3v2, you need to engage one of the center backs. You play this ball far too early. That allows Montgomery to come across and just cut down the angle. If you run at him, you make him step off of your line. That is when you play your teammate in.
2 more changes for Charleston Battery. We heard in our pre-match report from Izzy Sullivan that Chris Allen would be available for selection, and he will come on in the place of Jeremy Kelly. Those substitutions presented by Publix. A long road back to full health for Chris Allen, and he is joined on the pitch by Alec Hughes, former 22nd overall pick in the MLS Super Draft by LAFC.
What a moment this is for the Charleston Battery and Chris Allen. Just so important to Ben Pierman and company, a player that he trusted and do a little bit of everything in that midfield role. Massive addition back into the lineup for the Charleston Battery.
Allen got ahead to it, trying to make an impact as soon as he comes on, rather. And now we get a whistle for a stoppage. Ikaza is down after that collision. He is in a world of hurt. Officially 4 minutes of second half stoppage time. Stoppage time brought to you by MUSC Health Sports Medicine. Mudio will put this ball back into play off the stoppage for the injury, and we are back underway. Charleston Battery striking early, striking quick. And those two goals have stood the distance rather to this juncture. As now Amu Mensah is down again for Le Rouge. Cabrera was also down for Charleston Battery. Now he is back to his feet, as is Devin Amu Mensah.
Clearly the field mic is working.
Hey, there are some coaches that say play till the final whistle, and maybe it's just lip service. That clearly is not the case in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. They believe in playing to that final whistle.
And coaching to the final whistle for Ben Pierman.
You have to love it.
100%. Raising the standard is what it is for the Battery.
Charleston Battery, one of the oldest, most historic clubs in all of American soccer, one of the winningest clubs all time in USL Championship. Longest continuously operating professional club in U.S. history. Talk about those high standards. They are very high here in Low Country. And Ben Pierman has taken this club to almost another level since coming over 4 seasons ago. He's the 2022 USL Championship Coach of the Year. Going to be a late corner here for Charleston Battery. By the Pepper Law Firm, as Ikaza just puts it back into play casually. Pending results elsewhere tonight around USL Championship. This would vault Charleston Battery all the way up into the 2nd position in the Eastern Conference table. You talked about that parity a minute ago in USL this season, specifically the championship. That underscores it right there. One last push here for Detroit City, and it'll come to a screeching halt, courtesy of that foul and a yellow card. Handed out to Kirill Pakhomov.
Good stop and start from Minsigan. Catches Pakhomov in.
Earlier this year when I chatted with Ben Pierman ahead of the U.S. Open Cup, he called Kirill Pakhomov just a real interesting guy. You get a chance to talk to him, but he's also a real fiery, spirited competitor. One last effort here for Detroit City. And as Foster lifts this out wide, spilling around near that end line, Amu Mensah will charge onto it. Minsigan trying to stand this cross up to the back stick, and does. Coming into tonight, Charleston Battery had taken just 5 of a possible last 12 points against Detroit City, but the past It doesn't matter. All that counts is the present. A 2-0 win for Ben Pierman's team against the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, really good win for Ben Pierman and the Charleston Battery. The first half, they showed their muscle going forward, the ability to create individually through combination. Second half was all about the defense and to grind out this result. Complete performance and all 3 points stay here at Patriots Point.
Tonight's Fix It 24/7 man of the match, it's Colton Swan. He scored the opener and helped bolster Charleston Battery to a massive victory.
4th on the season, and a big piece why the Charleston Battery set the tone early with Colton Swan.
Charleston Battery also keeping their 3rd clean sheet of USL Championship play, and tonight's clean sheet presented by Brown & Brown, a comprehensive performance for Luis Zamudio.
Luis Zamudio, Appanonu, Graham Smith doing a fantastic job at that base of the back line for the Charleston Battery. Going to do a world of good for their confidence to get a clean sheet here at home.
4 saves for Luis Zamudio, 2 goals across a span of 2 minutes in the first half. A 2-0 win for Charleston Battery. We'll head to break. When we return, we break it all down in South Carolina.
Hey, playing for an ultra?
We're playing for ultras. Brace you for an ultra?
Put an ultra on it. Don't forget, there's ultras on the line. I didn't.
Michelob Ultra, superior light beer.
We've always been heads up about money, but sometimes life throws you a curve, like juggling college for our son and what it might take to help my dad if he needs it. He's always been there for us. Our Regions Greenprint plan helped us feel more prepared for whatever comes next. And Mike went the extra mile for us with great advice. We feel like we've got this.
Extra confidence from Greenprint. Extra know-how from our people. Extra is our ordinary at Regions.
When you scan the Spinks app and buy this, and this, you save big at the pump on that. Plus, save an additional 10 cents off per gallon when you use Extras Pay in the Spinks app.
People who love delicious fresh fried chicken know the restaurant with the crispiest, juiciest out there isn't a typical restaurant at all. Taste the hand-breaded southern fried surprise for yourself.
Spinks, making life easier.
It's all final inside Patriots Point. 2-0 the victory for Charleston Battery. Pick up win number 5 on the year. Tonight's final score brought to you by Regions. Back alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Jake Griffith. Our post-match report kicks off with our full-time highlights presented by Michelob Ultra, and in the 14th minute, it was Battery.
Good ball in from Messer. Colton Swan just wanted a little bit more, fending off his individual marker. A really good header over his left shoulder to get his 4th on the season 2 minutes after. This is a phenomenal team goal for the Charleston Battery. This is the play of the match presented by No Days Off, but as this ball comes in, notice the unselfishness first from Miguel Berry, then that second pass for Colton Swan. And Black Sox says, thank you very much. A really well-worked team goal for the home side.
Tic-tac-toe, that would ultimately prove to be the final strike, and then our save of the match in the 65th minute, presented by Brown & Brown.
It's a difficult save here from Zamudio, especially with the traffic oncoming. He sees it late, he reacts at the last second, full extension. Secure goalkeeping from Luis Zamudio.
Zamudio picking up a 3rd clean sheet of 2026 as we take a look at our full-time stats presented by Regions. This Charleston Battery offense going to get the love, but Ricky, it was really about defense.
In the second half, did a phenomenal job at being able to dictate the game without the ball defensively. They were phenomenal. They were compact. They won their individual duels, and their box defending was really organized. Strong performance for Ben Pierman and company.
A 2-0 victory over Detroit City, their 3rd ever win against Le Rouge. Charleston Battery are back in the win column for the 4th time in the last 5 matches, all competitions. They win it 2-0. For producer John Solfaro, our director Claudio Tellicher, and my broadcast partner Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Jake Griffith saying so long from the Palmetto State. Charleston Battery pick up win number 5.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.